It is May 8th. It is day 109 of the Trump presidency, and let's talk about the headlines for today. I am sure you've heard by now, but there is a new pope, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. His name is Pope Leo, I think it's the 14th. I'm sorry if that's wrong. He is the first pope that has been born in America. He was actually born in Chicago. And I'm feeling good about it because he's one of the two options that is fairly liberal, and he has he has MAGA freaking out. He has reposted like anti-Trump and anti-Vance stuff on his social media in the somewhat recent past. Can I remember exactly what he said about JD Vance? He said something like, Christ doesn't rank love, something along those lines. Essentially what he meant when he said this quote, go read it because I'm chopping it into pieces. What he meant was that Christ loves everyone equally and doesn't love immigrants less, for instance. This is a very pro-immigration pope. He is very kind, and he cares about the poor. So that's obviously not going to go over well with MAGA. They don't like qualities that represent Christ at all. So in any case, I feel a sense of relief for a bunch of reasons. I think, I'm not a super pro-church person. However, when we have leaders within the church that are actually exemplifying Christ-like qualities, it does make a difference in the world. As you can see, when we have leaders in office around the world that are cruel and evil, people feel emboldened to be that way publicly. And I'm assuming that those people have had those qualities inside them the entire time. However, I do think that having certain kinds of leadership can bring out the best or the worst in people. So in any case, it gives me a little bit of hope, and it feels like relief. Trump is actually planning, this is something that I'm happy about. Trump is planning to modernize the air traffic control system. I do think it would be beneficial to also not be understaffed, but I will take whatever we can get. They're estimating it's going to cost roughly $12.5 billion to do this. The podcasts that have gone over what's happening that I've listened to have basically explained that they are super far behind as far as technology goes. They're still using floppy disks to update their systems there, if that explains anything to you. So this is really necessary and has been necessary for a very, very long time. It's believed that this is the reason why those systems crashed and they lost communication with the planes. So obviously, this isn't, we have to do this. It needs to be a priority. And Trump is actually saying, he doesn't want to kick the can down the road. He wants his administration to handle this. Okay, do it. Please, by all means. Hopefully this doesn't turn into a shit show because we need this. We have to be able to fly planes. I'm sorry. It's not optional at this point in history. So happy to hear that. Hope that they can get it done quickly. I will say I've worked with government systems in the past. I've never worked for the government. I've just worked with government systems. And they are notorious for going extremely painfully slow as far as updating. So I'm not surprised to hear that they're still using this very old technology, but it does create incredible security risks, incredible risks in general. So that's the last thing I'll say about that. I'm just happy to hear it. This is actually an interesting story, but FEMA's acting director, his name is Cameron Hamilton. He was fired today and he's being replaced he was hired by the Trump administration. He's only been on the job a couple months, but he basically pushed back and said he does not believe that FEMA should be dismantled. So they just immediately fired him. He said it's going to put the American public in a horrible situation not to have any, not to have any access to help in natural disasters. And he's right. We're going into hurricane season. I mean, obviously, natural disasters have been more intense lately. Storms have been really bad already this year. So I agree with him. But it doesn't matter because they fired him. I didn't even look into who they replaced him with. Honestly, they're going to do what they're going to do. And if they want to get rid of FEMA, they're just going to do it. And maybe they'll get sued for it, but it is what it is. I started crying when I read this headline. I don't think I'll cry again, but I'm really fucking sad about this. World Central Kitchen has unfortunately been forced to close its soup kitchens across Gaza because they don't have any food. They don't have any supplies. It's just really fucked up. It's a really messed up situation. And I'm very worried about those people. I also saw drone footage today of like before and after the war in Gaza, and everything is destroyed. I mean, we know that, but they've destroyed completely all of their, like literally every single building is gone. There's no plants or grass. It's just really terrible. I mean, I'm assuming they don't actually have grass. They're not that stupid. I'm sure they have something better than grass, but my point is there's nothing alive there. It's been all killed. Really awful. Trump was like teasing this last night, and honestly, it's a big kind of nothing burger, but he came to a trade deal with the UK, but like there's no details that are being released. All he is saying about it is that it's going to boost beef sales in the UK for us and ethanol sales. But like there's still a 10% tariff on the UK, and they have not figured out the details of what this means or how this works or anything. So I'm assuming they just had some sort of conversation saying like, let's figure out something that works for both of us, but they just stopped it there. So I don't know. I don't know how to get excited about that. I'll be honest with you. It's not exciting. Shipments that are coming into the LA port now after the 145% tariffs are fully in place they're cut in half. So there's about half as much stuff coming through, and that is absolutely going to translate into shortages soon. I don't know like how long we have before, and I don't, again, it's not going to be every item. I don't think that Americans are going to like starve to death. I think Americans are going to be heavily inconvenienced. I think that I'm seeing a ton of videos about people going to put something in their cart and then seeing a $150 markup for the tariffs, and they're just not going to buy it. So it's going to affect all kinds of businesses. And, it is what it is, man. This is just like, you can't stop crazy. Crazy is on a roll. So you're just going to buckle up, I guess. And again, there's things that we can grow here. You can survive on potatoes and cabbage for a long ass time. So we'll figure it out, but it's just not great. It's not a great situation to be in. There's been heavy shelling in Kashmir, and Pakistan is saying that they have shot down 25 Indian drones. Yeah, that situation is still escalating. It's not good. Trump made some ridiculous, silly statement being like, you guys should stop. Do you want me to call you and help you figure this out? It's very like the way he talks about it is like very bizarrely casual. He's just not a presidential speaker. And it just feels embarrassing to have him representing us, although he absolutely does not represent me, but it is what it is. This is stupid too. I don't really give a shit about this, but Biden went on the show The View, and so it's like everyone's talking about it. I'm trying to think, what are some of the highlights for you? He took some responsibility for us losing the presidency, but he also said he doesn't think it would have been any different if he would have stepped down sooner. He thinks that Kamala lost because she's a woman and she's black. And we're racist and we're sexist. Not me, but the country. I don't know. I didn't watch it. You know, everyone's yapping about it. I don't know. I'm sort of like, I feel the same way about that kind of stuff right now that I feel about like when the potential aliens were flying all over New Jersey. It's like, and everybody kept being like, you know, freaking out about it and all this stuff. And it's sort of just like, okay, well, we have bigger fish to fry right now. I don't really, unless this is if he's going to say something profound that's going to fix this, then that's awesome. If he's going to say, oh, like, I think the election was stolen, I'll listen. Otherwise, like, I don't need to hear people speculate about why we lost an election that I don't believe was even fair. So I don't care. I'm just not into that conversation right now. We've got to figure out how to survive this. I'm really sad about this too. If the Trump budget passes, it's going to basically completely dismantle Section 8 housing. And I think I probably really don't have to explain to you what the problem with that is, but the problem with that is that apartments across the United States have been utilizing like a price gouging system together that has raised the rents way beyond the median income in this country, and there's nowhere to go. Like, if you need a break, so it's interesting. I went through this really horrible breakup a couple of years ago where I had sold the house that I was living in, you know, after I gotten engaged to this person, packed up all of our shit. We had bought a house together, which the first red flag was he didn't put my name on it. It's actually, in the end, it ended up being really good because I could just walk away with like no strings attached. However, when I got into that house and realized there was a bunch of lying and just not a good situation, and I had to leave and I had to do it quickly, when I was looking for an apartment, the apartments around the place where I am right now are about $2,000 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. My current mortgage is just slightly more than that. So, which is a lot for me. I mean, I'm making it work, but it's not like, you know, I'm not like stacking dollars upon dollars. But the point is, that is everyone else's situation as well. And I make a decent living especially for like a one person. But I cannot imagine what you're supposed to do if you're living on $30,000 to $40,000 a year. What, do you just like starve? Do you just do you just dig a hole in the ground? Like, what are you supposed to do? What are people supposed to do? Especially what if they have kids? Like, there needs to be affordable housing in this fucking country. What do you like? I mean, to me at this point, the only solution is co-housing people to, I don't know, live with multi-families in a home or something like that. I don't know what else and honestly, that'd probably be easier for a lot of people for a bunch of reasons. But I know people are resistant to that because those kinds of things are still really stigmatized and just like really looked down on. I'm just very pissed off about this. It really feels like this administration is trying to kill poor people. I'm going to be honest with you. That's how it feels. They're taking away their health care. They're making the food unaffordable. They're making gas unaffordable. They're making housing unaffordable. And it just is gross, dude. It's gross. They're disgusting. Which, by the way, some MAGA idiot called the Pope disgusting, the new Pope disgusting. And I'm like, wow, like we're on the same page here. We feel the same way about you. You guys make me physically sick. Laura Loomer called the new Pope, what did she call him? Marxist something. I don't know. It's crazy. I can't imagine having the audacity to say that to someone who's just like, be kind to poor people, be kind to immigrants, and you're out here insulting that person. And he's the most important religious figure in your religion, actually, right now, that's alive. Even though I don't know if she's Catholic, but like the Pope still is a figurehead in so many ways for Christians. Anyway, sick of them. This is important. It's important that people know this because I think it's being suppressed. It's actually like hard to find headlines about this. There are huge protests going on all the time in Israel over the war in Gaza by Israelis, okay? I think maybe what's happening is that Google is getting scrubbed of these headlines because a lot of these headlines are on websites like Al Jazeera and other places. But if you Google this, like headlines come up from like a year ago. And there's protests happening right now. I actually found this out from an app called Newsbreak. And I'm grateful that someone is digging enough to report on this. A lot of the people protesting are Orthodox, and it's like extremely against their religion what Netanyahu is doing. Extremely, for a bajillion reasons. When the war, I know some people have a problem with that word, and I understand why. When this first happened over a year ago in Gaza, there were Hasidic Jews speaking out, and their videos were going viral all over TikTok. They were like standing on cars in New York and giving these beautiful, heart-wrenching speeches about how like this did not represent them, like the actions that Netanyahu was taking did not represent them, and why. And I think it's really worth listening to. Honestly, I haven't seen any of that on my FYP in forever. It's been so heavily suppressed. It's hard for a video either from Gaza or about Gaza to get through it all. Anyway. Yeah, that situation is terrible. I did see, gosh darn it, what is his name? Someone very important in the UK spoke out and said he feels the UK has made a mistake in their initial position in supporting Israel, and that at this point, like, this is incredibly unacceptable and like it needs to stop. And we need more voices to be brave about this. But he literally said, a Palestinian child is not less sacred and precious and important than a Jewish child is. Like, they're fucking children. And they're important. And citizens are important. And, I mean, there are laws, there are rules of engagement in war that you must abide by. Like the Geneva Convention was written so that collective punishment does not occur in war, meaning you cannot commit genocide. You cannot starve a population of citizens to death to achieve a goal in a war. I don't know why anyone would expect Netanyahu, as a criminal who was standing trial prior to this war, to do anything the right way. I think it's like for embezzlement. It's white collar crime, which, fits really well with our administration right now. That is hustling everybody with the stupid fart coin, meme coin scam that they have going on. Which, by the way, 50 people with huge wallets of that coin have made millions of dollars, and then 728,000 have lost money. Shocking, right? Not at all. Speaking of this administration, President Trump was talking about the toy company Mattel, and he referred to them as a country. And he said, this is the only country that I know that's saying, well, we're just going to take our business elsewhere. And he was like, all right, we'll put 100% tariff on all your toys. And so he remembered that it was a toy company, but he also referred to it as a country. Anyways, again, maybe he's in menopause, I don't know. I'm not saying that I never have mental slip-ups. It happens to the best of us. But as the President of the United States, you're held to a different standard, buddy. You can't be napping in meetings, and you need to know what the fuck you're saying. You need to understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. And if you have a slip-up, you need to correct it. Anyways, that's never going to happen, and we live in hell. So, I'm going to go walk my dog again. And I'm going to space out and at least feel happy. Oh no, what? Sorry, there was a breaking news announcement. I don't think I can pull this down without disrupting this video. Bro, it said, and I quote, and I couldn't see the end of what he appointed her to. It says, President Trump appoints Jeanine Pirro Fox News host to, and then it's like ... So, again, we live in hell. I don't know what he just fucking appointed that lady to. She's crazy. I hate that lady. Oh my God. Kill us. I don't know what he just did. Whatever it wasn't good. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.